We met young, built a life, then a family. By the time everything blew up, we'd been together almost 25 years, married for over 20. Our kids were 18, 16, and 14 on D-Day. She'd been a stay-at-home mom since our first was born because we could afford it and we both believed someone home with the kids was the right call for us. From the outside and honestly from the inside too, life looked good, the everyday quiet of a long marriage. But she had been getting bored. I learned about the affair in the most cliché way possible. Little oddities that stacked into a pattern I couldn't deny. Too many late errands, a new passcode, a change in how she held her phone, the glazed smile after good nights I didn't explode. I didn't confront unprepared. I shut my mouth for 3 weeks and did the unromantic work. Found a lawyer, got into therapy, pulled her card statements, gathered what I needed to act without drama. Once those pieces were in place, I told her I was divorcing her due to the affair and that I'd be out within 2 weeks. A month from D-Day, I was in my own place. 6 months from D-Day, we were in court finalizing it. No long reconciliation arc, no trial separation. I know that won't be everyone's path, but once the ground dropped out, I couldn't imagine living in permanent limbo. We agreed to a parenting plan and child support, and the judge, over my objections, approved her request to relocate the kids to another state, close to where the affair partner lived. My eldest refused to go. The middle chose to stay with me when given the option, but the youngest had no choice. It was almost 100 miles away. I was furious, then numb, then just focused. Okay, how do I stay in all of my kids' lives from that distance? Less than 2 months after the decree, she packed a moving truck and took the youngest to that new city. Less than 3 months after the move, AP ended it. He liked her better as someone else's wife who always went home. The fantasy didn't survive when she moved home with a kid in tow, and the responsibility of providing fell on his shoulders. He told her he wasn't signing up to be a stepdad. She told me later, sobbing, that she misread everything. I believe her. I also believe she wanted to believe him more than she wanted to believe the life she already had. After he bailed, she still had to get up every morning and parent. There was no snap back to our old roles. She hadn't worked in almost 2 decades. She went back to working in a daycare, then to being a nanny to 2 children. And between her salary and the $300 in child support I paid, she kept the lights on. But she was a single parent by her choice, and the court's order, nearly 100 miles from me, the other parent who'd shouldered half the child care. So I started job hunting where she'd moved the kids. I didn't land one in that city, but I got an offer only 40 miles away. 40 miles isn't next door, but it's better than 100. I took it, I downsized. My oldest was in college by that time, and nothing changed for my middle. I could visit my youngest in the weekends so he didn't feel abandoned by me. People ask if she tried to come back after AP ended things. Yes, not immediately, but the thaw arrived. Texts about what we had, photos of the kids attached to nostalgia, then the half-assed apologies. I'm sorry if me putting myself first led us here. That sort of thing. I didn't rise to the baits. I also didn't offer what she wanted. We communicate through the parenting app and keep it kid-centered. I don't weaponize the past with the kids. They know what happened. Mom torpedoed our lives because she wanted new dick. But both love them. Both will be there, etc., etc. When youngest is older, they'll make their own sense of it. For now, they need stable adults, not my need to be understood. People also ask if I regret moving out so fast or divorcing so quickly. My answer changes depending on which day you catch me. The grief for a living person is weird. Anniversaries hit like a truck. A song at the grocery store can turn my feet to cement. And watching my youngest fall asleep on my lap still makes my throat hurt. But I don't regret refusing to live in a house where I was being lied to. I don't regret refusing to be one more audience member in somebody else's fantasy. I miss the life I thought I had. But that life is long gone. The kids are getting older and busier, which means more games, more school nights at my place, more miles on the car. They're resilient and also not robots. They have big feelings, and they deserve the space to have them. I've learned that the parenting app is a blessing because it keeps all the, "Did you send the permission slip?" ping pong away from their ears. I've learned that holidays can be quietly beautiful, even on your off year if you focus on making new traditions instead of replaying the old ones. As for her, she's Okay, better some weeks than others. She looks haggard and wears oversized cloths now. Her hair is never done. Her nails haven't seen a manicure in months. Gone is that life for her. She's less foggy now, though, and more blunt about what she did and why it blew up her life. I don't need her to explain it to me anymore. I need her to keep the kids alive and show that she still cares no matter how tired she is. On that front, she's doing her job. That's as much reconciliation as we're going to get. Story 2. My husband found our reel, more than 10,000 texts over a few years to my AP, and around 15 hours a month of one-on-one calls on our personal phones, some running past an hour. We told ourselves we had boundaries to keep it professional, no contact on weekends or during evening family time. But what did that even matter? It was still an affair. It just hid how much space this coworker had in my life. About a month and a half ago, my husband started asking questions. At first it was gentle. You and he talk a lot. Everything okay? And I brushed it off with the script I had practiced. It's work. He's a colleague. We're solving problems. When he pressed, I got defensive. I insisted he was overreacting, that I'm allowed to click with teammates. Meanwhile, I was calling him after the kids went to bed and taking that call at 10 p.m. for 80 minutes. It was like a drug. I was addicted. When my husband finally asked to see the messages, it took 5 minutes to see the tone I'd been minimizing. Quick, light yet flirty banter, a steady stream of, "Are you free?" The us against the world vibe, where everyone else was clueless, and we were the two who really got it. He called me his work boyfriend, said he missed me when we didn't talk for 2 days, sent me heart emojis, getting excited about when we could meet up in person. None of that reads like a normal interaction with a coworker, but I gaslit him that it does. Why did I let it get that far? Because it made me feel good. He made me feel like the most capable person in the room. Our marriage was thinning. Some of that predated this. Kids, stress, finances turning into ruts. Instead of turning toward my husband, I took a shortcut. I outsourced the parts of me that wanted to be admired and understood to the one person guaranteed to admire and get me, because that was our unspoken deal. It felt good, and it made me a liar by omission. My husband has been cheated on before. I told myself that history meant I'd never do that to him. Then I did a version of it and hid behind the lack of explicit romance to call it something softer. He calls it an emotional affair. I've resisted the label because it forces me to own the harm. I've ping-ponged between acknowledging it and minimizing it, and that whiplash has hurt him almost as much as the messages. When he wrote a list of boundaries for how I must interact with this coworker, no personal one-on-one calls, no after-hours texting, no inside jokes, keep everything on visible channels, loop in leadership when needed, I felt infantilized. I felt like a teenager being handed house rules. But I'd already shown I couldn't hold the line on my own. I'm on leave right now. The idea of going back and sharing space with the same person, even professionally, makes my husband sick. If I go back, something has to change beyond rules on paper. That likely means asking for a different team or manager, or leaving the group entirely. It definitely means no private channels, no endorphin hits from the person who always gets me. I can say those words. The only thing that matters is what I do when no one's looking. So I'm thinking I might agree to the list. Lowell.